Welcome back to Living in Sacramento, California.
Hello.
Today we're going to do a quick little market update on the real estate market and talk about the national market, and then we're going to dive into the 3 counties we're currently working in and go a little bit more in detail. So we're going to start with this graph you're going to see, which is the national weekly available inventory. This is brought to us from Altos Research. You can see that the market is basically in recovery mode right now. And based off of, if you look at the top, there's 2017, 2018, 2019 was way up in the 800. So 800,000 homes were available back in those years. And then we had COVID happen, and you can see 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023 are down below the 600 mark. Where if you look halfway at that graph, you can see the 2024 is right at the 600,000. So we are recovering from COVID market and some other situations that have happened. So the inventory levels are rising again. We're going to switch over to the next graph, and this will show you the new listings. Now again, this is a couple of years of information. We have 2022 and 2023 that are actually highlighted for you to see in pink and red. And in the middle there, you can see 2024 halfway through the year here. And this week, we have 72,000 new listings that hit the market. Now that's a little bit more than 2023, and we are just below what we had in 2022. So again, we're getting into that recovery mode.
We're making our way up.
We got a comeback.
We got a comeback.
And the next graph you're going to be looking at is the total home sales of contracts that are pending. So that means that they are currently in the process of selling. They're in the middle of escrow, right? And again, this is basically going to go all the way back to October of 2021, where you'll see on the far left side, it was 400,000 existing pending sales, and then new pending shot up to just shy of 500,000. And if we scoot all the way to about halfway past that graph where last year, we can see again that it was a little bit below. So they were about 300,000 pending sales, and then new pending sales were just at the 400,000 mark. And then at the very end, we can see where we're currently at, where we're just above those numbers, above 300,000. And for new pending sales, we are right at the 400,000 mark again. And yeah, we're doing pretty good. And then as we move into the next graph here, we have the percentage of properties with recent price reductions. So this is homes that have been sitting on the market a little bit that have not sold. You will see that sellers that are eager to sell are going to start doing price reductions to motivate it.
So sorry, Candace, but with the price reductions, why do you believe, looking at the graph, that there's more price reductions? And I think, and let me know what your opinion is, that's because the prices of the homes were too high.
Yes.
And in the first place, however, combine that with the interest rates.
Yeah.
People are looking at their monthly payment and they're like,
Yeah, I think that's it too. And I think that, as a nation, prices of homes will always increase. That's just a given, just like taxes. They're always going to increase. And I think what happened here is we were in recovery mode from COVID, and prices started to climb at a very alarmingly fast rate. And now we're at that toggle point where the market is trying to find that stability instead of just being increase all the time. It's like, whoa. So
like one extreme to another. Yeah, that's a good thing.
Oh, it's a very good thing, because it opens up a window for people that felt like they were priced out of the market.
Yep.
Now they're getting back into that position where, okay, the market's finding its stability, so a lot more people can come back and buy now. Yeah.
So back to the graph.
So like you said, we
price reductions.
quite a few price reductions. 34.8%, which 30% is usually about average for price reductions across the nation. So we are just a little bit above, and like we said, we think that's because it's recovering. We're finding that stability in the marketplace.
Right.
So now going forward and piggybacking off of what we were just talking about the prices of homes, we can actually see that now happening on this next graph of the median price of homes in contract. So if you look at 2022 and 2023, the price of homes was almost similar. There were times where in 2022 it got a little bit higher, and then we finished off the year with 2023's prices being a little bit higher. And if we look at the 2024 line, which is the one that only goes about halfway through in the very top there, that's where we can see these prices jumped, and now they're finding that stabilization. So it's kind of like almost a straight line at this point, because it's staying right around the 400,000 mark for across the nation.
And again, this is homes in contract.
Homes in contract. Yes.
So that makes sense with how, if you follow the 2022, 23, 24. Yeah.
Yes.
Things are still moving along quite nicely.
Yep. All right. So now we're going to jump into the 3 counties that we actually are currently doing business in and are getting our hands dirty with. So,
and those 3 counties consist of Sutter Yuba County, Placer County, and Sacramento County. And we're just going to break down each county and give you those trends. Which one are we starting with?
Let's start with all of Yuba and Sutter.
Okay, great.
So Yuba and Sutter are small counties, so they pretty much are considered together. So looking at the Yuba and Sutter, we have here the number of homes for sale versus sold versus pending. So for sale is that light green. Sold, which means it closed escrow, is the dark green. And then pending means that it's got a contract, escrow's opened, and then we're just waiting for it to close. So as we look through here, again, you can see that just like in the national market, this market is in recovery mode as well. You can kind of look back, and we're similar to what we were in of May of last year.
Yeah.
So we're almost parallel to what we were seeing before. So in May of last year, there was 313 homes in the Yuba and Sutter counties combined. And currently, as of April, there were 382 homes this year. So, I mean, it's pretty compatible. And then as far as homes sold, zoom in, my eyeballs, 188 sold last year. This year we're at 157.
Now that makes a lot of sense though, because sold, that the interest rates were different this time last year. So
Very different.
That shows you the dramatic change of what interest rates can do in the closed market. People, they're still showing people are buying. It's just buyers are a little bit more cautious.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And then also, too, to throw it in the mix, we have to look at the pending, because in April and May of last year, there was anywhere from 179 to 169 homes pending during that time. And right now, we have 208 pending.
So there you go. That just goes to show that we are stabilizing.
Yes.
And the market is picking up right now for buyers and sellers, just because we are going into the summer months. And all those pendings have to close, so it'll be interesting to see the graph for next month.
Yes. I definitely want to see where we're going next month with this. So we're going to move down. We're still in Yuba and Sutter counties combined. This is going to be days on market versus the sale price and originally listing price. So the average days on market are in the blue, and then that red line is the listing price, the sale price versus what it originally listed for. Yes.
Got it.
So as we can see, looking at last year,
What was
we're
the average?
pretty compatible.
Yeah, so whoops. Well, leave it up to me to mess with the graph. So average day on markets last year was 56 days. That was the average for Wissota County. And this year,
Same thing.
same.
Yeah.
Same.
So exact thing.
Yeah. And then for list price versus sold price, it looks like
That went up just a hair.
like a hair.
Yeah. We went from 96% last year to now we're at 98%.
And my guess would be because of price reductions.
Oh yeah, I definitely think
I
that's
think
to do
so.
with price reductions.
Because people are like, oh, higher interest rate. Well, will you take 10,000 less for your house or 20,000 less for your house? I haven't seen anything really dramatic like 50 or 60,000 less.
No.
And I've seen about 10 or to 20.
Yeah, definitely 10 to 20 is very
Or
common.
credits.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway.
And then looking at the next one, this is average price for sale and sold. So the red line is sold, and the green line is going to be for sale. And this is the pricing of those homes. So if we look back in April of last year, the sales price was about $433,000, and then the for sale was around $548,000.
So go ahead and then I'll share what. And today, what are we looking at now?
So now looking, because it only closed out, we were still getting the numbers for May of this month. So it only closed out for April, and it was 424 versus 524.
That's great.
Yeah. So we're almost the same. We were one off from last year to now, and then as far as for sale, they're about the same as well.
The market's still, again, the stability is still there.
Yes.
So there's still people in the market still buying.
And then this last yellow chart is months of inventory, and this just talks about basically how many homes are on the market versus our buyer demand that we are seeing in the market. And as we can see, as of February of last year, it was at 3.1, and that's actually pretty high. I mean, 3 months of inventory is a lot. Comparing to where we're at as of April was 2.4.
So that still leads us to believe, again, it reiterates my point. That's why we're only seeing price reductions around 10 or 20,000. First of all, the houses weren't priced correctly in the first place.
Yes.
Then there's a price reduction, but nothing dramatic. And it's still, according to these numbers, a seller's market.
Oh, absolutely.
As long as your house is priced correctly, there's still plenty of homes getting multiple offers.
Yes. And the thing is, too, is with the rates that kind of toggled a little bit, because like last weekend they actually dropped a few little points. This week they're kind of climbing back up there. But I think when those rates drop, you have such a huge flood of buyers that try and take advantage of that rate drop,
Of course.
that go out there, and then it creates this competitive, multiple offer situation. So the seller's in control because he has so many options. So, but I think that we are in a market where
Depends on the house, right?
yeah, it
Depends on the
definitely
house.
depends on the house.
The depends on the house. It depends on how turnkey it is, what the interest rate's going to be locked in at that time, what the list price is, and if the seller's offering any incentive, if any at all, or is willing to work with the buyer. So
True.
kind of, there's not this definite answer for each house right now.
Yeah, no,
It could
because
be one of those options.
there's definitely different situations, some people care about how fast they can see the home, or if they have to wait till the weekend to get in there and look at it.
Yeah.
Some buyers don't want to wait. They want to take advantage of that rate that day. They want to see the home and make the offer that night so they can lock in their rate. If they wait till the weekend, those rates may jump up. So that affects it. I mean, just the littlest things about each home can affect whether or not it's going to sell.
100%. So what county are we going to next, Candace?
Let's jump over to Sacramento County.
Okay, let's do it. What's Sac County doing?
All right, Sac County, we are going to look at the number of for sale versus sold versus pending in county. So we are going to look at April of last year to April of this year. So April of last year, we had 841 homes for sale. This year we have 1,241.
That is huge.
Yes, that means inventory numbers for Sacramento County is rising, which is great because we need it.
Well, let's see how many sold in each month. How many sold for April last year?
So April last year, 827 sold.
Again, how many this year?
And this year, 888.
Okay.
So again, those numbers are climbing. That's really great. And then for pending, we have 917 were pending a year ago versus 1,040 pending now. So
yeah.
Sacramento market is definitely
It's hot.
yes, a very hot market.
Well, the prices in Sacramento range so significantly too. Like
Yes.
depends on where you're looking.
Yeah, I mean versus West Sac versus Antelope versus Elk Grove
Versus Citrus Heights.
Yeah, Sacramento County is a very, very big range of areas, so prices are all over the place.
And that doesn't surprise me. Those numbers don't surprise me at all.
I'm actually kind of surprised. I'm surprised that they've increased that much. I knew they were increasing a little bit, but to me that's a significant jump for pendings to go over. I mean, you figure that's 100 more pendings than we had last year. 100 homes.
And what does that tell you? People are that's still like I guess the narrative that we people are still buying.
Yes. Yeah. Everywhere. I mean, from nationally to where we can
Locally.
see in the counties that we locally work with. So we're going to scroll on to the next graph. Again, we're still in Sacramento County. We're going to look at average days on market versus the sold versus originally list price. So the average days on market are the blue. So we'll look at April of last year, 40 days on market. That's I would say a little bit more than average. 30 to 40 days is about just in the average zone. This year, 20 days. That's fast.
That is for Sac County.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm interested to see. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see what the next graph is gonna show for.
What about the sold price versus the original list price? What was it last year?
It was 98%. We're at 101. So that means that people were actually getting 1% more than what they were listing it for. So I would assume multiple buyer situation. So they were competitive and somebody offered just a little bit more to get the home that they wanted.
Yes.
And this is going to be sold versus for sale. So this one, we're going to look at April. Sold was 576. And sold of this year is 600. So again, we're seeing that rise.
Still growth.
April was 791 for sale. And in April this year, it was 763. So what I don't see on this chart that would probably help understand that a little bit better is the pending. And we know that in the last chart, it said there was 1,040 pending. So that makes sense to me because, the for sale may have gone down a little bit because they're in the pending stage.
Yep. Because that's what the other graph showed in the Placer County, or excuse me, Placer County.
Yeah. All right. So this is months of inventory. Wow. Sacramento, definitely, they're only about 1 month. They only have about 1 month of inventory and it stays pretty steady. The only time it looked like it dropped was in March of last year and in May of last year. But other than that, it stays right around 1 month.
Yeah, it's steady. That's perfect.
That's a good, healthy market.
It's a very good, healthy market.
And it's healthy for both sides. For the seller, it's really great. I mean, obviously that 101%, knowing that you could possibly get just a little bit more than what you listed for, that's great.
But again, you better list it right.
Yes.
Else you're going to be in that other range of sold price versus, original price, list price.
Or in that chart of people that are taking price
projections. Yeah.
All right.
So much information.
Let's jump on over to where our office is at in Placer County. And we are going to start with the for sale, sold, and pendings again. So, looking at April of last year, it looks like 339 sold.
Okay.
Wow.
That's big.
April of this year, 422. So that was a good jump. Good jump up.
Okay, so let's look at the sold. You sold or
We
for
just
sale?
did
For
sold.
sale, and let's do that one now. 'Cause
So, for sale in April of last year was 534. This year, 707.
707.
Wow. So inventory definitely rose this year. That is a wonderful thing.
And then the
Pendings, 454 for last year, 503 for this year.
wow.
So everything on that chart jumped up year over year.
Yep.
And I mean, obviously, as you can see, the full chart, it kind of toggles itself, but we're definitely on the
rise.
on the rise on this chart for Placer
We're
County.
climbing.
Right? All right, average days on market, and then the percentage of what it sold for versus its original list price. So we're gonna look at the blue for average days on market. April of last year was 43 days.
Wow.
Again, like I said, average was
About
30 to 40, so that's about right. And then April of this year, 35.
That's about right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so those days on market kind of went down a little bit. But
People are closing a little bit faster.
we can also look just a few months back in January, it was a little bit higher. And then as we are approaching the summer months, those days on market are going down.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then we're gonna look at this next one, which is sold versus for sale. April, we sold 774 last year. This year, 801.
Doesn't surprise me.
And then looking at for sale, 1,070 last year, 1,014 this year. And again, I think the only difference in numbers there is probably the ones that went pending.
Yeah. Then let's look at our average months of inventory.
Yes.
Right.
And then just kind of similar to Sacramento County, it stays right around the 1. It does look like it peaked at the end of last year, though, up into the 2 months of inventory. And then as we are climbing now towards summer, it looks like that's kind of dissipating again.
Sure is.
But 1.7, 1.3.
But that just goes to show you again, it's still, again, price it right, still shows signs of a seller's market.
Yes, absolutely. Well, that is our market update, showing you what the market is doing, not just nationally, but here locally. And if you specifically would like to know the market that's affecting your home, or possibly a market that you're looking to buy in, please contact us and we will get you a better market analysis that will be specific to that home, because you really want to zone into
your neighborhood, your specific area, because we don't just break it down by county, we break it down by city, zip code, and then neighborhoods.
Yeah,
It gets very specific.
Yeah, I mean, and it really depends, because I know some agents just do a radius of a home area, and it's like, you gotta know the neighborhood and what homes are gonna compare, so you understand what is affecting the market around you. And, you know, like for example, in Yuba Sutter areas, I have somebody that's potentially thinking about selling up in the Marysville area, and they live on the left side of the freeway.
Okay.
And somebody tried to compare the homes on the right side of the freeway to them. You can't, because the left side of the freeway is older homes and the right side of the freeway is brand new homes.
Yep.
So they don't compare, and the market is totally different between the two. And you definitely want to talk to a professional and get more details on those specific markets that affect your home.
Well, that's all we have for today on Sacramento Living. If you want to live in Sacramento, you know who to call.